Hi, this is Helen, and I wanted to share with you what we're doing with two local authorities who are working in partnership with their providers to have a depth and breadth strategy to improving the way everybody works, moving towards delivering an outcome-based service and then eventually moving towards self-management inspired by Birdsong. So I'll just walk this through with you. So over here on the right, these are our three areas that we're working with commissioners to explore. So to move away from task and time and to enable providers to work in an outcome-focused way, we absolutely need to have a flexible ISF framework in place. Now, naturally, that raises some issues of concern about how do we focus on quality assurance with our social work qualities, commissioning and contracts and providers. So the other thing that also needs to be in place is co-designing a quality assurance framework. And by co-design, I mean doing that together with all of the stakeholders. With one local authority this week, we were even talking about going as far as creating best quality paperwork that CQC, commissioners, providers would all agree is the best quality, and the possibility of using that across all the providers in an area. So not reducing, of course, providers' ability to be flexible with what they do, but having a shared understanding about what good looks like. So over here, the providers and the commissioners that we're working with at the moment in two areas have got this as their must do, and that's delivering an outcome-based service. And what we're supporting them to do is to look at how to develop clear outcomes. So once the assessment's been done by the social worker and the overall outcomes are established, how you go from that to really making them very, very specific, making sure they reflect the person's personal priorities, and then how do you deliver these outcomes within the support sequence. So we're thinking about assistive technology, self-care, friends, family and community. Critical to this as well is co-design the service with the individual. So he or she chooses what support they want, when and where, how, and most importantly as well, how they can choose their team. It's also important there are lots of opportunities and strategies in place for reviewing progress and outcomes. So a sort of monthly how we do with a 4+1 or working, not working, right through to a full person-centred review at 6 months. And in order to enable people to deliver a very different service, we probably require a very different way of thinking about risk and how this is enabled. So both the local authorities that we're working with have got that as the must do for the providers in their framework, but then they're offering a range of other opportunities that providers can do and can have support to take forward, and each provider can make the decisions of where they feel they are now, and we've got a self-assessment to help that, and essentially biting off as much as they think they can chew. So here are some of the examples. They could start to introduce values-based recruitment and induction to give them a better chance of getting great staff. This requires that we do work together so they know their values, they can demonstrate the organisation's values throughout the progress, they rethink who they're looking for, move away from a traditional person specification, rethink about what they expect people to do, and clarify what the responsibilities and the expectations are to people that they support, to the team and to the organisation, how they meet the person before their experience or their qualifications, how you replace interviews with values-based workshops, and how you go from that to value-based induction. Once you've got your staff, how do you get to keep great staff? Well, we think part of the solution to this is creating person-centred teams. This means that we know what matters to each person, that we know how to support each person to be at their best. The team would make decisions about how they work together through team agreements, and meetings reflect all of that as well. So that's just an introduction to person-centred teams. There are lots of other facets to it too. Then how do we keep reviewing progress and continually improving? So how do we make one-to-ones not a tick box exercise, but actually meaningful in the context of the work, introducing person-centred team meetings and person-centred team reviews and other reflection tools like the 4+1 and working, not working from different perspectives. There's also an opportunity to learn how to co-produce the annual business and development plan, and doing that with people who use your service and with staff again as well. And that process is called Working Together for Change. And also an opportunity to focus on staff wellbeing. How do we support staff to be at their best? And the 5 ways to wellbeing is one of the ways that we're focusing on. And if organisations are interested in doing all of this, they may also be interested in a bigger move, which will be a move towards self-management. So as I said, we're really excited that there are 2 local authorities who've already committed to moving in this direction. We are co-designing the support programme with the providers and the commissioners, but this just gives you a flavour of the kind of things that we're looking at to play a role in transforming home care and moving in the direction of wellbeing teams, as well as establishing wellbeing teams through a national franchise.